Windows XP to the open internet and see what happens. Now, you may think, well, how is that different from just running Windows XP? Well, there's something else that's different between now and the 2000s as far as the internet is concerned, and that is that in the old days, you would just get a modem from your ISP and plug that straight into your computer. That would mean you had no firewall, unless you had one in Windows, and essentially anything on the internet could connect to your PC. Nowadays, that's not how it works. Nowadays, you basically never expose your PC to the internet, and if you did want to open a port, you would do so using a port forwarding function. Well, in good old days, it didn't work that way, and that's how we're going to try it out. Now, the way I've set this up is a bit complicated, but basically, this VM is running under a Proxmox server that is specifically designed for this to work. Okay. This is VNC, which does not... VNC and Windows does not mix, so it's a bit tricky to control the mouse. But we can do it this way. Kind of like the old setup screen. It was so much more straight to the point rather than... here you go, you got to click all of these buttons or else your information is going to become property of Microsoft. So here we go. We've logged in, and now I will set up the networking, which has to be done manually, because the other thing is, of course, there's no DHCP, because we're just on the internet. Same way that a server would work, which is a legitimate reason to do this, as opposed to... Hey, I've seen this as well in some enterprise situations. And you may be wondering, so how does this work? Well, the magic is that the moment you connect to the internet this way, people can run tools like Nmap that will be able to pinpoint exactly what your system is running and then know that this is potentially a vulnerable Windows XP computer connected and firewall. Now, I don't think Windows XP's firewall is actually very secure, but just in case. And boom. Okay, we have no antivirus, and we also have absolutely no firewall. I'm also going to try and change the mouse settings, because this is absolutely annoying. Okay, now let's see. How long does it take? Place your bets. We can open up IE as well if we want to. I love how it warns you that you're viewing viewing an SSL instead of warning you that you're not, because you know you wouldn't want to accidentally have security. Okay, so now we're just going to leave this system to cook for a while, and then we can come back and see if it catches them. It's almost like how police have a bait kill. Okay, so just a few minutes later, we have already got signs of infection, conhose.exe, which I don't actually 100% know what that does, but I googled it, and it seems like it's malicious, but let's keep the experiment running. This has just taken 10 minutes to get our first virus. Let's see how far we can go. Let's just see. I'm gonna guess, just from having dealt with malware back in the day, that probably this is gonna be, and probably installed itself into temp. No, maybe it hasn't. Okay, well, we'll keep watching and we'll keep monitoring.
Okay, now we're gonna come back a few hours later and see what's happened. So nothing obvious in user mode, despite the fact that we've got at least one Trojan installed, possibly more. And it seems like, unless that's just the default administrator account, it also seems like we've got a new user added. The admina user. Here's the password. Okay, we got our user. And it still loads. So I don't think we've got the Sasser worm, but we do have a fair number of things. I do not like this. Is that a Windows feature, or is that some sort of... You do not want an FTP server running. That essentially means that the hacker has complete control of the files on the system. Okay, so this is definitely password protected. Okay. Because I'm an administrator, I can just kill this. Oh, I think I know, actually. It's probably just for the FTP. That's probably why it was created. New programs installed. Okay. Okay, this might just be everything that came with Windows. It doesn't seem like there's anything suspicious in my user profile. Now, of course, I always forget that on Windows XP it's documents and settings, not. But I think given this was just created, I think that's probably fine. So I'm going to guess admin A is for FTP, and probably the fact that I've changed the password to it is probably not going to. Okay, now I've got what is still an outdated but usable browser installed. And of course it complains. So now we can try, for example, we can try and get a really old version of Procinfo. And here we go. We've now got a really old version of Process Explorer going, which is going to allow us to see exactly what these processes are doing. You're going to have to wait for the malware to start up. Oh. Okay, this malware is like kind of comically bootleg. So Microsoft compilation. That's not Microsoft Corporation. Okay, let's see. Where is this? And it's set up in Windows 10 instead of user mode 10. And of course it can run as system. And we can explore. Okay, the users.dat. Maybe that. I wonder if this is a stealer. Okay, 46 megabytes. Now we can upload this to VirusTotal. Yeah, there's a few possibilities. One of them is that this is a stealer. Another is that it's some sort of worm. Or even that it's some sort of email spam. Let's see where this search online goes. No. Yeah, it's pretending to be Conquest. This is just a case of a search engine not being very good at what it does. Okay. These are pretty much all nonsense, which makes sense because as far as I can tell, this application does not have any interactive functionality. You can see how often. Okay. And it's also doing something here. So it's doing a fair amount of things. It's of course got all privileges because back in this version of Windows you could actually run as the system user and have complete and total domination. Okay. Let's get an idea of. Let's just go to a system and then we could get an idea. Just need to close that so that I can actually read the address, and then we can get an idea of what this might be doing. Chris.onu. This domain is registered in the Russian Federation. And okay, it's an active domain, and it's been registered since 1994, which I guess shouldn't shock anybody. Oh, no, that was the all you. Okay, I made a mistake. Okay, that makes more sense. It was registered more recently. It actually, I mean, it wouldn't shock me because who's writing Windows XP malware these days? The only reason I could think of to write malware on Windows XP is if you needed to, if you were maybe looking for a botnet or trying to find computers that might have. So actually, let's just double check with this. This is ALG. Okay, no, this one is in fact legitimate. Unlike this comical program that's got ID of 420. Was that done on purpose? Okay, and here is an old. This one is from 2010, which should run on XP. And it looks like Process Monitor, which is the more powerful version of this, runs along with auto runs. So let's go over to auto runs. Now some of these are showing an icon that implies they won't run. I don't know if that's because they're 60 full bit. Oh, okay. And now we can find. Okay, so we actually have quite a bit of malware on this system. Item dot. Is that? Oh yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I don't know if you can do this in modern Windows, but on Windows XP, you can actually Run DLL, I believe, allows for non-exe files that should be DLLs to function as if they were executable. It seems like that's being abused. Oh, I totally believe this is from Google. Okay. Okay. So we have a fake Google, and this one is running a file, LSMA. Let me see what that does. That's one actually on there. See what LSMA do to it. Okay. So this is the Luma C2 Trojan Stealer. Wait. Did it actually just kill my... No. Okay. So this one will kill your browser if you try to look it up. This one seems to have uninstalled itself.
Did you hear that the Las Vegas alien body cam video is apparently legit, according to expert examiners? Who are the expert examiners? Hey, this is my Uncle Steve. He said this shit is super real. Like, who do you even call in? The scientist from Independence Day that gets strangled to death? Yeah, they didn't even contact my father, so I already doubt these experts. Las Vegas alien videos previously missed detail proves authenticity, expert says. You can't deny it. Watch me. Boy, do I have some cold water to throw in your face, expert. Let me take a peek. Oh my god, wait, it's this old one. It's the old one. This whole load of baloney. This load of barnacles. He's still on this. I thought this was new. You mean this load of proof? True, right, sorry. The irrefutable evidence. After, of course, the 20 ads that I get here. I'll get to it soon.
I was on the other side. I was helping my dad clean the... On that side of the house? On the backyard. So we're working on a truck. We're working on a truck and okay. We're working with the everything today inside the garage we had.
What's the detail that we all missed?
What did you see? It was like a big picture.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
I'm not gonna BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious.
Can we go that side? I want to yeah, we can go look. No, any dogs or anything?
Is there something over there? Was that the missing detail? What? Oh my god, what is this format? I paused the video and then there's like 7 videos just surrounding it. I just wanted to rewind.
Not gonna let me sleep tonight. Oh yeah, I bet. I wouldn't be sleeping either.
Alright, so what was the missing detail there? Was there some kind of alien warp drive parked in the backyard somewhere? Just scooted in sideways? When a Las Vegas family told police they saw something not human in their backyard, they were not lying. A veteran crime scene recreation expert said. Scott Roeder of Evidence Room Animation and Exhibits used his expertise and motion tracking software to analyze the video of a purported UFO crash landing in Sin City in April 2023. He told News Nation they tried to debunk the responding officer's body cam footage or prove something was added to the video. Now he said he is convinced there were 2 creatures creeping around the family's Las Vegas yard that night. All of our results came back as authentic, Roeder said. There's no editing. That is an original video. What do we, am I misremembering? Where are the 2 creatures? Is it this one? Are they here? A tall, skinny alien creature with greenish color.
This is you. And this is us.
The man's being hunted by Piccolo, I guess. I don't remember that in the body cam. Because I remember the incident, but I don't even remember the greenish tall guys. So that's the footage. Let me see it again. Enhance. How do you have something that looks this blurry in 2024? This? These glow-in-the-dark neon props from mini golf? Is this them? Why are they this color? Are they inflicted with gamma radiation? Or is it this one, which is even blurrier somehow? What is he using for a security camera here? A Motorola Razr? Jesus Christ, I can't see anything. Is this proof somewhere?
This is around the neighborhood, so here's the video.
So it's the audio. Why would it do that? I guess it was really mad if they crash landed like fuck, and then he kicks a trash can. Are they in the sand? Did they bury underneath? Like a little crab? What am I looking at? What am I looking for? Are they in the RV? Maybe I missed something important in the sand. Hold on, what does he say about it?
But Metro.
So they went in the backyard and one of the officers pointed at the floor and it was a perfect circle. Here's a photo of the circle I'm referring to.
Who gives a fuck? And that is the furthest thing from a perfect circle I've ever seen. That's very oblong. That's like edamame shaped.
Come back, don't call us, alright? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
Yeah, this is all old. I remember all of these. So what is the irrefutable proof that we missed? I don't understand. So this guy ran simulations to prove that there were aliens in his backyard that night? What kind of fucking simulations? Did he go in Blender and make a game out of it? Like, what do you mean? Rotor pored over the footage and watched it over and over until he finally spotted what he missed every time. Two beings in the video at the same time, he told News Nation show Banfield. Using motion tracking software that zeroes in on the source of motion, Rotor said he attached motion to a figure in the background to show that the movement of the shadow reflects the movement of a body that is attached to the head. We don't believe it's a floating head. We believe it's attached to a body, and the motion of that head from right to left is consistent with the motion that we see between the slats of the fence. The story has been fiercely debated since the streaks of lights lit up Las Vegas sky April 30th, 2023. Alright, let's take a peek at the irrefutable evidence that we all missed.
So this is a very slowed down screen recording I took, and I know everybody is trying to find the aliens in front of these guys, but I noticed something insane, and I want everybody, my two friends who will watch this, to take a look down, pay attention to two areas. We're going to look down here on the bottom right behind their fence and right up there, but we're going to first start down here because I found something crazy. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to what I believe is the creepiest part of this video. And I'm going to point out two things you need to pay attention to right here, which is the head, and if you look really close, there's actually a shiny black eye.
It's that alien that pops out of that dude's chest in Total Recall. He's here.
Hand. That, I believe, is some creature, non-human, crouching down, and that was its eye I just pointed at. And I want you to pay attention to what appear to be fingers running up the fence, as if it's kneeling down or something and peering out, and then there you go, see the fingers? And I think I go back and forth a couple times here, but it looks to me like...
Yeah, it's massaging the wood.
There's a little other, or a big creature looking through the fence on the bottom there, crouched down.
Whoa, this is irrefutable.
And then there's
Shit.
the fingers going right up.
How did we miss it?
Down, up, and down. Just looks like almost a human hand crawling up the fence. And at the very beginning you see... You get it.
Well, now I feel like a damn fool after
what's
seeing
really
this.
Interesting about this is,
I'm assuming this isn't what Scott Rotor is saying is like irrefutable, completely authentic. Because apparently this guy's some kind of expert, and I don't think that would be the video. Because that is the stupidest shit I've seen in a minute. So where is Scott Rotor's video?
To another episode of Surviving the Survivor.
It is a fact that one man could not have made those three shots. It's a fact that John F. Kennedy was shot from the front, right, not the back. You know how bullets react?
What?
You know that when a bullet goes into the brain or into the body or into the tissue, it creates a smaller hole on the entrance and a bigger...
What does that have to do with the aliens? Is he claiming aliens helped assassinate John F. Kennedy? I really want to believe that that's the angle he's taking. I'm going to rewind briefly. We are so off course now, but I have to know if he's blaming that on aliens.
All right, Scott, let me jump in 1 second. So, Scott, is your claim, and I don't want to stay on this because we're delivering UFOs, but
ridiculous argument. I mean,
no,
you gotta come to me more with
quick,
just
Scott, do you
garbage.
believe there were two shooters? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, okay, damn, it's not about aliens. Fuck, that would have been amazing. He's like, listen. If you analyze the Zapruder film, frame by frame, you're going to see 5 extraterrestrials touch down and blast them with a ray gun. It's right there. We used our motion tracking software to confirm it.
Which I found initially, and I didn't even see or recognize the being or whatever it is above the fence.
Then you're a
until
damn
just a few
fool.
weeks
I
ago.
recognized it right away.
It was pointed out to me by a
Viltrumite.
subscriber to a friend of mine's podcast. But once you see it, you can't deny it. So there's actually 2 beings in the video at the same time.
Where is his video? Once you see it, you can't deny it. Well, show it to me so I can stop denying it. Where is it? This is like the most nothing fucking video of all time. Like, actually, it is like the most fucking nothing video to hyperanalyze. Oh, we talked... So here's good news for the alien enthusiasts. While there's still no evidence of aliens having visited us anytime recently, there is evidence from a Cambridge scientist who found the markers of life on an exoplanet. I think it was 50 light years from us. What was it? Disulfur monoxide or something? And it's only found from life, I believe. Yeah, I think it was disulfur monoxide. I already fucking forgot. But whatever they found is only present in life. Only produced from life forms. So, that's big news. That's very hype. It was 140 light years? Oh, I thought it was 50. Whatever. That's still cool.
We can take a video and look at whether or not there is an artificial artifact added to it or not. And in this case,
Why are you having this alien teabag these gentlemen? What in the fuck does that prove?
can definitively say, to a degree of scientific certainty, that this entity, this thing in the video, is there in the physical reality in which
First time I saw a vagina in real life, that shit was confusing. It was nothing like the picture.
That also plays into the systematic stuff that I was talking about, because a lot of women can't get jobs in construction. They
Have you
get
ever tried to
turned
be a
down.
concreter?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here's something a little wacky looking. This looks like it has potential. I can't quite tell what you do in the game, but it looks interesting. Let's see how this baby treats us. The deceased Professor James Bennett returns early from a planned 2-week business trip. Following his unplanned return, he becomes the victim of a murder for an unknown reason due to a well-known and beloved figure in the state. The district attorney contacts Nathan Morgan to solve the murder. Detective Morgan arrives at the crime scene and the events unfold. His fingers aren't even reaching the keyboard. You can't fool me, Nathan.
Hello. What?
Text to speech. Very nice.
Okay. I will be there.
What is going on with the blinds there? They're fucking freaking out. I highly doubt they got the rights to use this song. What song? It's completely silent. The Sound of Silence? They didn't have the rights to just ambient nothingness? Check your media player, bro. Yeah, that guy's just got, like, some kind of UMG song playing right now. There's no way they got the rights to Kesha. Good evening, officer.
You must be Detective Nathan Morgan.
I am.
When has the murder been committed?
According to the Giving report, it has been committed at about 1 a.m. yesterday.
1 a.m. yesterday, huh? Okay. Whoops. I'm coming in. Crime House. House of Professor James. Where were you at the time of the murder? Hello, Alicia. What is happening here?
You must be the maid Alicia.
Okay, that was an interesting cutaway.
Yes, sir.
Where were you at the time of incident?
Oh, well. Sir, I was sleeping in my room.
A likely story, Alicia.
How long have you been working in this house?
Almost. 10 years, sir.
Are you contented with your work? Jesus Christ, Nathan. Did we not finish our schooling? What in tarnation?
I don't think I'm contented quite. I'm employed hard labor.
Fair enough, Alicia. Thank you so much for communicating with me.
Something is dilemma I can't see. Both she complains about her job and she stays in the same place. I need to find out the reason.
That's 99% of the world, I'll be honest with you, Nathan. Most people hate their jobs, but they can't leave because they need the money. I'm not super suspicious of that statement. I'm more concerned about her inability to communicate on like an adult level. Ah, yes, sheet music. What does it all mean? What was he watching at the time of his murder? And who might you be? Bradley Bennett, huh? You look so sad.
Where were you at the time of incident?
I was in my room, sleeping because it's late.
That's exactly what Alicia said. Also, why are you looking so shifty there, Bradley? I've played L.A. Noire. I can pick up on those subtle changes in your facial expression. You're lying to me.
Did you argue with your parents recently?
That's what I was wondering.
I don't argue so with them. Rose is the only one who is arguing with them. I even heard while she is threading.
Interesting. Yes. Yes.
Well, do you get along with your siblings?
Like I said, I can't see them so much even though we live in the same house.
Okay. Show me your report card from middle school.
Okay. I need to go.
Goodbye, Bradley. You've given me a lot to think about. And whose titties might these be? Good evening, Rose. I just learned about you from Bradley.
Yes, so what?
There's been a murder here, that's what. That's so what.
Where were you at the time of incident?
I was in my room, speaking with my boyfriend.
So what? Was your boyfriend?
There's no
Okay.
need for him to be here to make me an orgasm.
Rose, you dirty harlot. What does that have to do with anything in my investigation? Also, what? You said you were in your room speaking to your boyfriend. Were you, so phone sex then?
Do your parents know him?
Yes, nobody loves him. They call him badass, but I love him so much.
Everyone loves a badass. Does he wear sunglasses and smoke cigarettes?
Why do they regard him as a badass?
Because he has a weird lifestyle.
Okay, can you explain a little further? What might that lifestyle consist of? You're useless, Rose.
I talked to the maid just now. She said me...
In November of 2022, Reddit user AccurateSquirrel189 posted about some uncomfortable lost episodes from a game show titled The Moment of Truth. The post reads, The Moment of Truth was a 2008 reality show where contestants are asked over 50 questions by a polygraph examiner prior to taping, probing questionable or unethical truths about the contestant 21 of those questions are chosen to be answered by the contestant on set, with the contestant's family and or close friends sitting and watching as they reveal unsettling truths of their life. While answering more questions and reaching milestones earn them more potential cash winnings, they would also make the questions significantly more personal and make you question if it's even worth the consequences of doing so. An episode from the first season was nearly pulled from airing due to intense controversy and criticism of a particular contestant, who seemed heartless and careless about how the game affected her husband's marriage and feelings. The host was even against the episode airing. The top prize is $500,000, and only one contestant has successfully passed the final question, and that contestant is Melanie Williams. She was a contestant who had lived a polygamous lifestyle in a polygamous community, experiencing sexual abuse. In her appearances on the show, she admits several truths about not just herself, but also the community she and her parents lived in. These questions involved her admitting yes to her father setting her up on a date with a 73-year-old man while she was a teenager, that her experience impacted and made her fearful of relationships with men, and that her polygamous community gave alcohol to underage minors. Included were the screenshots from the episode. While Season 1 is available to watch on YouTube, Seasons 2 and 3 were unaired. Only partial amounts of Season 2 are available online on the now inactive YouTube channel Lighthearted Productions, which supposedly has ties to the show. A majority of her appearance, which was Season 2, Episode 9, is lost. In her final question, in Season 2, Episode 10, available on YouTube, she is asked if she suspects her father has ever had sexual relations with a minor while he was an adult. Tearfully, she says yes, and wins the top prize. The situation is terribly uncomfortable, as her family is unsure how to approach her afterwards, and Melanie is reluctant to hug her family. Linked in the Reddit post was a blog ran by Melanie Williams herself, in which she details her experience with the episode. According to Williams, she grew up in a, quote, very strict, closed, and secretive polygamous community, where women were not allowed to speak up for themselves. As such, she went on the game show as an opportunity to expose this lifestyle. Quote, I wanted to go on the lie detector and be a voice for the young girls who are pressured to be married before they figure out who they are. My dad lied on the show about his fourth wife, Joy, who was 14 when she was told to marry my dad. There are many underage marriages that happen in these communities, and it's not right. This is America, and we should be protecting these young women. Attached to the blog is a YouTube link, which sadly no longer works. By using the Wayback Machine, we can see that the video was titled Melanie Williams at the Moment of Truth, followed by some Arabic text that reads, quote, Scandal Program Moment of Truth. The video was uploaded by a channel called Mena the Master, and most of the viewable comments are in Arabic. Translating these comments doesn't amount to much anyways. Alright, so as I was writing the script for this portion of the video, Accurate Scroll 189 made a follow-up post that was locked and removed a day later by the admins of the Lost Media subreddit. Given its subject matter, I'm not too surprised, but I still wanted to know what it contained. I reached out to Accurate Squirrel, and they were kind enough to send me their deleted post. It mostly recapped what we've already discussed, but 3 very interesting links were also included. First was a video that showed a preview of the episode.
This woman from St. George, Utah tells all about growing up in a polygamous family.
Your father has 38 children. Your mother had how many?
My mom had 14 with him, and she had her 15th from her new husband.
The second was an archived YouTube playlist of all Moment of Truth episodes by Lighthearted Entertainment. Season 2, Episode 9, where Williams began her round, is conveniently missing. And lastly, an article about the episode, which included some of the questions asked. As of the writing of this video, this episode remains unreleased. Accurate Squirrel has stated that they, at the very least, want it to be found so Williams' story can be told. I personally just feel really bad for Melanie. I know lie detectors aren't super reliable, but if that stuff really happened, that's sickening and awful. Her blog was last updated in 2012, and I couldn't find much about her whereabouts since. So wherever she's at now, I sincerely hope she's doing better. Lost media from other parts of the world are always tricky to talk about, but in the case of this missing TV episode, there are so many interesting and ominous aspects to this mystery that I had to include it. To preface, in 1992, the skeletal remains of an unidentified person were found in a park in Norway. This person was likely in his early to mid-20s and had a slim figure. Initially, investigators couldn't determine the deceased's gender because they had feminine hips, yet a masculine skull. In 2022, modern analysis concluded that this person was most likely a male. Where this gets interesting are the items that were found near the body. A single 1,000 Norwegian banknotes, multiple plastic bags containing German branded food, like bread, baking powder, and wine, a map of southern Norway, a teddy bear that was repaired various times, and clothing, including Levi's jeans, a brown jacket, a German-made pullover, hiking boots, and a German-made poncho. Given the lack of a backpack or proper hiking gear, police suspected that he might have been a novice hiker who strayed off path and froze to death. It's also highly likely that this person was of German origin, which would explain his unfamiliarity with the area. The case received a lot of attention, and the unidentified man has been nicknamed Teddy Bjorn Mannen, in reference to the well-kept teddy bear he was found with. So here's where the lost media comes into play. In the spring of 2022, a Norwegian TV show called Asted Nordgap aired a special about this case. The program covered unsolved mysteries and true crime cases. And in this episode, a German man actually came forward with a lead. According to this person, they recalled viewing an episode from the German talk show Fliege in 1998, in which a female guest talked about how her son went missing in Norway. If true, this could actually identify Teddy Bjorn Mannen and bring closure to his family. The only problem is that this episode cannot be found. Not only could Fliege's host not recall such an episode, but the TV station searched through their archives and found nothing. This mystery became popular online, and since then, tons of theories have been offered. Unsurprisingly, there are some who believe the German person either fabricated the story or is misremembering which TV show he saw from. This was over 20 years ago, after all. Some people believe that the host might be misremembering, as the show had over 2,000 episodes. But if the TV station did truly look through its archives and found nothing, I think this is unlikely. Again, the language barrier makes this piece difficult to research. If any of the 3 Germans who happen to be watching this know any information, or better yet, have footage of this episode, feel free to post a comment or reach out. In the past year or so, there's been a growing interest in recovering handheld footage and images from 9/11. I'm sure it's for historical or archival purposes, but there's definitely some morbid curiosity involved. But I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't admit that the topic is pretty fascinating. Obviously, smartphones didn't exist in 2001, but handheld cameras did, as well as ways of sharing videos online, even before YouTube. So there's definitely some rare amateur footage out there. For example, on the podcast Missing on 9/11 by John Walczak, supposedly the FBI found a camera in the pockets of one of the jumpers, and that camera not only survived, but had images of inside the tower while it was under attack. Walczak tried to get his hands on some of the photos, but the FBI basically ignored him. In all honesty, I highly doubt this will ever leak. Also recently, someone actually recovered new footage of the first plane hitting the towers. This is significant because, for the longest time, there was only ever one video of the first plane. After all, it was a surprise attack. But new footage from a guy in the area who just happened to be recording from his car surfaced online. Then there's this dude who was looking for the music that played in the World Trade Center Plaza on 9/11. That's a separate rabbit hole entirely. Probably most infamous, however, is a shock video called LOL Superman. The story goes that in 2015, a user on 4chan posted about this video that he apparently saw on YouTube in the mid-2000s. It was apparently taken from right outside of the towers on 9/11 and actually showed the jumpers hitting the floor. Given its content and title, the video received negative feedback and was unsurprisingly removed. The 4chan post received quite some attention and comments from users claiming to have also seen it, but nothing was really uncovered. The mystery really took off on Reddit when a user posted a supposed photo from LOL Superman. A different user commented that he apparently submitted a Freedom of Information Act request, but it was outright denied. However, the FBI sort of confirmed its existence. Quote, "The material you requested is located in an investigative file, which is exempt from disclosure." Whether this is referring to LOL Superman or just any video featuring the jumpers is anyone's best guess. There just isn't a whole lot of verifiable information on this video, and even the supposed screenshot from Reddit was later debunked. It actually originates from a tourist who was merely visiting the World Trade Center in June 2001. Then there's this screenshot, which is said to depict the cameraman who filmed LOL Superman. Since then, search efforts have slowed down, and a community of people archiving footage from 9/11 has formed. I spoke with one of the moderators of their Discord, and they are of the opinion that LOL Superman might not exist. First of all, the supposed witnesses have given conflicting information or are vague on the details. Second, back in the mid-2000s, there were a ton of edgy videos of the jumpers with like music and stuff that were mass removed once YouTube became more regulated. It's not difficult to see how people could have misconstrued a few of these together. At the end of the day, whether or not this video exists, I personally don't think it needs to be found. Well, after that last entry, I think we need a little palate cleanser. And that's where today's sponsor, Manscaped, comes into play. Last month, in 2021, a Reddit user named NoNameGal999 posted this onto r/tip-of-my-tongue. It's a deep rabbit hole that I intended to cover forever ago, but I thought it would fit well here. Her post reads, "I know the title sounds clickbaity, but I assure you, every word of it is true. And what I'm describing is real. I just know it is." Some background. The cult in question is called the Family International, or TFI. I grew up in Huntington Beach, which, funnily enough, is where the cult started. I was born into it, with my parents still remaining members to this day. Their start dates for the cults as of now being unknown. The show followed a sheep, possibly named something biblical, as they encountered problems. The show was in the style of Sesame Street, with puppets and actors, with small animated segments. Standard kids show affairs, right? Well, the problems encountered dove into disturbing subject matter. One segment I recall had the sheep talking to a little boy who had said he wanted to, quote, serve Jesus in all the ways he could. With the sheep saying the little boy should, quote, give his body to the church. With an animated Jesus standing next to what I recall being children wearing little clothing. The show, from what I remember, appeared to have been made in the 80s, judging by the camera quality. But I grew up in the 90s and saw these at only 4 years old, so that puts us at 1994 for my earliest recollection of it. Some of the kids within our group were born in the 80s, and they had seen these too, so that puts a possible start dates as late as 1985 to 1989, but I could be wrong. The show came on VHS, and we had hundreds stored away on church property. If these proves the existence of hundreds of episodes, or just means there are multiple copies of the same episode, is unknown. Information is likely scarce for two reasons. Either it's been scrubbed to save reputation, or it was produced by the cults with no release outside it, so obviously no documentation. I also believe the actress who voiced the sheep was a gospel singer who sang in numerous videos for the cults dating back to the 70s, which also leads me to believe it may have had musical segments. Children within the cults may have also been used for the production as well. I intend to update as new information is found, and I thank anyone who takes the time to read and help the search. I want to take a quick moment to talk about the Family International cults. Their website describes themselves as an, quote, online Christian network of individuals committed to sharing the message of God's love with others. They believe that, quote, love is God's solution to the problems the world faces. Love put into action is the greatest service of humankind. So far so good. What's the issue? Well, dozens of ex-members have spoken out against the cult. They're often referred to as a sex cult that engages in extremely disturbing acts in front of, or even including, children. Their leader, David Berg, preached, quote, God is love and love is sex, which facilitated the exploitation of children in communities across the world. At one point, there were more than 30,000 members in 100 countries, and almost half were children. Perhaps their most notable controversy involves a man named Ricky Rodriguez. He was born in 1975 and into the cults by his mother, Karen Zerbe, who happens to be their spiritual leader. During this time, the cult was known as the Children of God and would engage in something called flirty fishing, in which female members would seduce male non-members into joining and raising newborns into the cults. Rodriguez was conceived this way and adopted by David Berg, being heavily exploited and sexually abused growing up. By the 2000s, Rodriguez left the Children of God and became resentful towards them, writing about his horrendous experience online. Everything culminated in 2005 when Rodriguez invited his longtime nanny and abuser, Angela M. Smith to dinner. He then murdered her, confessed his crime, and shot himself. It's widely believed that following this event, the cult changed its name to the Family International, or some variation, and scrubbed anything related to the case, perhaps including whatever cartoon OP is searching for. The cult did broadcast several shows and animations for their young members, like The Lovets, Life with Grandpa, and Treasure Attic. Unfortunately, none of these are it. No Name Gal 99 made this account for the sole purpose of finding this mysterious show. But to date, the mystery has remained cold for over 2 years. While there's no evidence of the show ever existing, I can imagine this cult producing something like OP's description. Bizarre, low-budget religious programming is all too common. And yet, they are ridiculously hard to find. Unless they aired on television, or another former member unveils more information, this disturbing program may be lost forever. There is a story of a lost creepypasta making the rounds on r/tookmytongue and r/lostmedia. Various times has the story been posted and discussed, yet no one has been able to find the original tale. The Reddit post with the most information reads as follows. I think I found the story on the front page of a creepypasta forum around 5 years ago. From what I can recall, it's a short story about the Soviet Union finding God, yes, capital G, in the wilderness of Siberia in the 1970s. They then kill him and run tests/use pieces of his corpse to develop their technology. This may be unrelated, but I believe there was an accompanying picture of 4 armed men in the snow, surrounded by twigs or shrubs. The main 2 were smiling and holding a large piece of skin, or tied up with sticks, while the other 2 looked intensely at. Gives me the chills whenever I think about it. But the concept has always been so fascinating to me, so it stuck with me when I read it. If anyone has any idea, please help me solve this. Been thinking about it for some time now. Edit. Here is a Photoshop job I just did of what I recall the image to look like. I remember a big emphasis on the lens flare in the original image, if that helps anybody. Edit 2. So, the above image I created for the sake of the investigation has been matched to a real one, and